What up, Bird Brains, and welcome to episode 7 of the Ultimate Ultra Build series. Today is going to be a good episode. We got some small things, we got some big things, we got some good news, and we got some bad news. So part of the good news slash bad news. So if you watched last episode, you saw how we quote unquote fixed. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Welcome to the build. So if you saw the last episode, you saw how we fixed the front wheel issue with the brakes. Well, thanks to my good buddy John Maxwell, as well as a few of people on the internet mechanics actually paid off this time, we were able to kind of figure out why that happened, and there was also some other problems that came from it. So in case you saw last episode, when I turned this on, as you can see, this light blinking right here, that's actually the ABS light. A lot of you guys on the internet caught it. I caught it as well when I took the test ride. Since I didn't go over 30 or 35, whatever the set mile per hour is, I figured that it just wasn't activating. But after numerous other reports kind of came in, it kind of started painting a better picture. And then, like I said, Mr. John Maxwell really revealed the true reason. So first off, a lot of people were saying that the tire was on backwards because the tread is somewhat pointing up. No, as you can see, the arrow is right here going that way. The wheel spins that way. The tire is on correctly. Now what I didn't know, granted this is my first bike I'm working on with ABS, and there's a lot to learn when ABS comes into play, is not only is the wheel directional, which was weird to me, but also the bearings have to be pressed in on a certain side. You have two different kinds of bearings and they have to be put in a certain order. So with that being said, I have no idea which bearing was the ABS bearing, which bearing was the non-ABS bearing, in what order we put them in, nor what side we put them on the wheel. So a lot of stuff could have gone wrong. So essentially what we're gonna be doing is redoing all of that. But that's gonna be coming later in the episode. We're gonna go over to Super Dave's shop, let him work his magic, because he has a lot of the tools that I would need that I don't have to do that job. But we do have $100 worth of Harley Davidson bearings, so yay. But learning experience, guys. Hopefully you're learning from my video, and if you ever happen to do something like this, you don't make the same mistake I did. So let my mistakes be your knowledge. So that's kind of the bad news slash good news. Bad news is we did it wrong. Good news is we know what we did wrong and we know what we can do to fix it. So that's going to be done correctly. That way, you know, the bike's done right and it has ABS, which is always a good thing. But now on to the fun stuff. What are we adding to the bike? So big stuff right off the bat. Boom, Lengends suspension. You guys saw on one of the earlier episodes we did the front suspension. Today we're going to be doing the rear. Lengends Suspensions, of course, is one of our main sponsors for this build. They sent out these REVO-A's for the rear. These are the 13-inch shocks, which I believe is either an inch or a ½ inch larger than stock. I'll have to measure when I take them off. I'm a taller guy. I like my bikes to sit a little bit higher, but they do have options for, I think, 12 as well as 11-inch to pretty much fit all your needs. I'm really excited to try these out. They do seem very high quality. I have ridden some Lengends suspensions in the past that were very impressive, way better than stock. So we're gonna be throwing these on. We got all new bolts from Harley, so the internet can calm down. We're gonna be throwing these on, and then we're gonna be moving up to the handlebars. But unfortunately, we're not actually replacing the handlebars. Sorry guys, that was kind of mean, but oh well, you'll get over it. We're gonna be adding some handlebar accessories. If you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I love my phone mounts, and my favorite phone mount is Rockform. Rockform is actually sponsoring this build. I'm so excited. I've been trying to get them on the channel since I think the Sportster build. But this is actually the motorcycle perch mount. So this doesn't actually wrap around the bars. This actually utilizes some of the holes on the hand controls to actually mount the phone mount. Rockform uses military grade billet aluminum, super easy installs, and it has a 2-year limited warranty. And to top it all off, Rockform is actually giving you guys, the Bird Brains, a hookup on this sponsorship as well. If you enter code BNB25, you will get 25% off their entire site. That's phone cases, phone mounts, motorcycle mounts, car mounts, you name it. Anything on their website, you can get 25% off using the code BNB25. In case you've never seen one of their cases or mounts, this is the one I currently use. This is the one for the the Note 9. This right here clips onto the bars. This is a magnet. I actually really like this magnet. I use it quite a bit, especially here in the garage. For example, the other day we were working on, I think it was something on the shift linkage. And while I was doing that, I was kind of looking at old videos to see how everything went together, and I just simply stuck my phone up there and it stays. I also have a metal pegboard here that houses all my tools. And a lot of times I'm in the garage, I'll just throw it on there, and you can control your music and stuff all from up there. So like I said, guys, head over to rockform.com, enter code BNB25 and get 25% off your own Rockform mount. And then, of course, what would a bike converter build be without a little bit of Memphis Shades action? Memphis Shades sent us out these hand guards. If you've ever seen these, this is basically how they mount up. I did get this clip powder coated. This is one of the things I kind of snuck in there behind the scenes. I thought it was going to be a lot more visible than it is, but I think it'll still be a nice little touch. But basically how this mounts up is you take your mirrors, put your guards there, and then that'll essentially be how they sit. And then speaking of mirrors, we also did get some Amazon knockoff black Harley mirrors as well. I wanted to wait until we got bars on to do all this stuff, but I still don't know when bars are coming in. And the reason that we're doing all this stuff now is I talked to Super Dave, and we both kind of came to the conclusion that it would be best to do the 1,000-mile break-in as well as a 1,000-mile service before doing the stage 1 in any of the engine powder coating. So we got to go crush some miles, guys, and before we can do that, we do need to finish up these little tidbits here and there. So without any further ado, let's get to work. Well, we got the rear suspension off. That was easy as hell. And yes, before anyone says it, I know this is not the proper jack to do this job. Sorry, that's kind of a reoccurring theme here on the channel, is that I always say, I don't need a flat jack enough to buy a flat jack, but I do like a dozen episodes featuring a jack that should have been a flat jack, but who knows? So one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning of the episode is I'm wanting to set up the bike to pretty much be able to run without the tour pack. Which is why we did the lights and everything like that. But there's one thing missing. I don't have anywhere to put a license plate. And that's actually true on the whole bike. I don't even have one on the new tour pack setup. So I hopped on the interwebs and found this somewhat universal, it's called the Harley lay flat mount, or it's like a knockoff of the Harley lay flat mount. Essentially what it does is it just sits right here above the tail light, and then that illuminates it coming up. I will be changing out this tail light, but I have confirmed that the one I'm changing it out with also illuminates the license plate from the top. So I feel like this is gonna be the best place to house that. So now I get to make a bunch of Harley enthusiasts cry by drilling into a fender. for an update. We got the license plate bracket on. That was actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it was, mostly because of the angle of that top bolt, but we got on. I think it looks really good, nice and clean. Of course, I don't have a license plate on there yet, but just a very simplistic design. 3 bolts. Has a rubber backer. It also came with a, I don't know where it is, but it also came with a flat one. That way, if you don't want that angle, you can have it laying flatter. But I was afraid if I laid it flatter that I'd get some crap from the cops, because it's with the tour pack like that and the license plate laying flat, it'd be pretty hard to see. So I tilted up a little bit, got the suspension changed out, super easy. Lengends suspensions, awesome product, and also awesome instructions. I mean, even if I had never done a suspension job before, they labeled out very easy, tells you what washers to use, what spacers to use, how to orient them, how to adjust the sag, how to adjust the preload, what your sag should be. Just very basic 1, 2, 3 instructions. So the Battle Donkey officially has Lengends suspensions on the front and the rear. Also, we will be doing the Dyna full Lengends suspensions front and rear as well later on this year, but that's for a whole nother episode, a whole nother build series. So basically what we're gonna do now is pretty much put the rear end back together, put the saddlebags, the tour pack back on, and then shift our attention to the front and get that Rockform phone mount, as well as those Memphis Shades hand guards on there as well. Front is done. Rockform phone mount, stupid easy to install. 1, 2 on the perch, and 1 to tighten it down. Pretty much the same concept on the Memphis Shades handguards. Basically just feed the mirror through, tighten on the bottom, and there you go. I have to say I'm not super happy with how they look right now, because they're kind of like at that angle. But that has to do with Harley thinking that people's wrists go like this, which of course, you know how I feel about that. But I think once we put the new bars on, I think it'll be a lot better. I'm wanting them more straight, but can't really, there's no point of adjustment within them, just because, I mean, it's going off of the angle of the mirror stem. So now I'm trying to get in contact with the Super Dave, seeing if we can get this knocked out today. If we can, I'm gonna have to go right over to his shop, and it's 36 degrees and raining. So let's go ahead and fast forward to Dave's shop. We've warmed up to a balming 37.
check it. Hey, check it. Put the place up.
So I tried explaining this in Dave's shop, but it was extremely loud, so I'm going to take the time here to briefly explain what the issue was. So with ABS bikes, you have, of course, two bearings, one of them being ABS and one of them being non-ABS, and then you have your axle spacer in the middle. So basically what you have to do is find the groove on the wheels, pictured here, and that is your primary side, which is the side that the ABS goes on. So what you have to do is take your ABS bearing with the red/orange side pointed in, press that bearing first, drop in your axle spacer, and then press in the non-ABS bearing. All right, back to the show. All right, so we're headed back to my house now. Essentially what we found out is that both ABS bearings had been put on the rear, so that was the cause of the issue. So we knocked out the old ones in the front, put the new ones in. We also found out the wheel was wrong. The wheels are actually directional, which I did not know and he did not know. This all has to do with ABS, which is somewhat of a new technology. He felt terrible about it. I told him there's no reason to feel terrible. It's a lesson. It's all new stuff to both of us. He's like, yeah, but I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm like, yeah, but it's a new technology. It's new. I would say that's one of the only downsides I can think of working with a non-Harley dealership is the mechanics are going to have the continuous education for all the new stuff. But I told him, I was like, it's no big deal. Nothing broke. It didn't, I mean, no one got hurt, nothing got messed up. We're heading back to my place now. He just got off work there at the shop, so we're going to head back to my place to fix the rear. Alright guys, well there you have it. The bike is back together. I hope this episode was at least somewhat entertaining. I know it was more of a fix-it series as opposed to a build series, but this is just stuff that comes along with a build. I'm trying to show you guys basically all of the stuff that could and might possibly show up, and hopefully I taught you guys something today of what not to do. That's gonna do it for episode 7. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down there in the comments. If not, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.